Boker Tov, good morning. This is the Haftarah for Vayechi, a beautiful Haftarah focusing on leadership, passing the baton, connecting with the Torah reading as well. And it starts right away in the second verse with a long list of words that end with the possessive masculine plural. So a lot of times you'll hear or want to sing I've for those because you have an A vowel followed by a Yud, which is I, but then the Vav cancels it out and goes back to being A, and all of those are Av. You'll see it's coming up quickly. Vayikrevuhu Yemei David Lamut Vayetzav Et Shlomo Veno Lemor Anochi Holech Bederech Kol Haaretz Vechazakta Vehayita Leish Veshamarta Et Mishmeret Adonai Elohecha Lalechet bidrachav lishmor chukotav mitzvotav umishpatav ve'edotav hakatuv betorat Moshe lema'an taskil et kol asher ta'aseh ve'et kol asher tifneh Sham Leman Yakim Adonai Et Varo Asher Diver Alai Lemor Im Yishmeru Vanecha Et Darkam Lalechet Lefanai Be'emet. Sorry, I have to pause this. Sorry about that. I think I ended Be'emet right there in the middle of verse 4. So I'm going to go back to the beginning of verse 4. Lema'an Yakim Adonai et Devaro Asher Diber Alai Lemor Im Yishmeru Vanecha Et Darkam Lalechet Lefanai Be'emet Bechol Levavam Ubechol Nafsham Lemor Lo Yikaret Lecha Ish Me'al Kisei Yisrael. Now the munachs before a pazer, I was taught to simply chant them da da da. So there's munach, munach, pazer. Here we go. Vegaham ataha yadata et asher asali Yoav ben Tzeruya Asher asa lishnei sarei tzivot Yisrael leAvner ben Ner veLaamasa ben Yeter vayahargem. Actually, should be Vayahargem Vayasem Demei Milchama Bishalom Vayitein Demei Milchama Bechagorato Asher Bimotnav. Yes, special O vowel on the mem there. Bimotnav Uvena'alo Asher Beraglav Ve'asita Kechochmatecha Velotored Sevato Beshalom she'ol velivnei varzilai hagil adi ta'aseh chesed vehayu be'ochlei shulchanecha ki chen karvu elai bevorechi mipnei Avshalom achicha והנה עמך שמעי בן גרה בן הימיני מבחורים והוא קיללני קללה נמרצת ביום לכתי מחניים והוא ירד לקראתי הירדן ואשבה לו ואדוני לאמור אם עמיתך בחרב ואתה אל תנקהו כי איש חכם אתה וידעת et asher ta'aseli. So when you have two munachs before zakef katon, put the tune on the second one. Et asher ta'aseli vehoradeta et sevato bedam she'ol. Vayishkav David im avotav vayikaver Be'ir David V'hayamim Asher Malach David Al Yisrael Arbaim Shana Bechevron Malach Sheva Shanim Uvirushalayim Malach Shaloshim V'shalosh Shanim Ushlomo Yashav Al Kisei David Aviv Vatikon Malchuto Me'od, which leads you right into Baruch Ata Adonai, etc., etc. Good luck. Now, a few little notes I'll tell you actually now before, instead of finishing up here. I told you at the beginning that the avs, the possessive masculine plural, would be at the end of the words in verse 2, but they're in verse 3, actually. I wanted to point out that there are several times that we have in this Haftarah a Tlisha Gedolah. That's the little lollipop, but going this way instead of going this way. So the lollipop going this way, Tlisha Katana, I chant Tlisha Katana. So going up 2 steps and back down again. 1, 2, 3, if you're counting the first step, and then back down to where you started. Da, 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 da. But Tlisha Gedolah is more like laughter. Ha, 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 ha. Tlisha Gedolah. And that's going the other way, and we have a couple of those. Also, I try to be really precise with the trope. So in verse 5, after it's Tlisha Katana, we have Kadma V'Yazla on Asali. We're used to Asa because of modern Hebrew, but and some biblical Hebrew as well. But here, it's the accent of the Kadma on the ayin. So Asher Asali would be the most precise. Let's see, moving on I told you that there's a kamatz katan on the word bimotnav towards the end of verse 5, bimotnav. But then you get another one at the beginning of verse 6, kechoch matecha. You might know the word with a Yiddish accent, chochma, wisdom or smarts. Sechel is also used. But it is a kamatz katan, which is a closed, unaccented syllable with a kamatz. There's a lot more grammar to it, but I'll give you another one we get in verse 7, Bivorchi, and that has a Zakef Gadol. So we have several Zakef Gadols in this Haftarah, and they are chanted Zakef Gadol. Let's look at the very last verse where you get two in a row. Zakef Gadol Ushalomo Yashav. Especially for people who have a hard time remembering that, I have a little trick that seems to work all around the world. It's hard to get to the first note. So if you remember all around the world, it might help you. Let's see. I think that's enough for now. Good luck.